What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Torque Spec Garage. I got another how-to video for you today. Today we're going to be doing an oil change on my new daily I just got. It is a 2025 Toyota Camry. So should be pretty straightforward like any other Toyota that you guys have seen on the channel, but I'll show you guys the car, what we need to do the job, and we'll get it done. Alright guys, so I already got the car up on my ramps. The car's actually too low to pull just straight up onto the Rhino ramp, so I had to get my jack and put it on the pinch weld, lift one side up at a time, and then just put my ramp under there. So just keep that in mind. If you don't have a jack, might need one. This is the Hybrid. So this engine actually calls for OW8, which I had never heard of, and it was actually surprisingly hard to find. I found it actually at Walmart, which is cool because they also sell OEM Toyota filters. So first things first, just take your cap loose, crack your dipstick just a little bit. And yeah, like I said guys, new daily, nothing fancy. I just wanted something, you know, good on gas to get me to and from work. So this is 2025, pretty basic, not, you know, not a lot of bells and whistles. I really like the seats though. They're actually really comfortable for having to be in it for hours at a time. Wheels, I like them. Not my favorite, but not also too bad. Great little car. It's even better because it only cost me on average probably $23 to fill it up. I got my jack on this side just for a little extra support, but not necessary. Alright, let's get into it. Alright guys, so what you're going to need to do this is you're going to need 4.5 quarts of an OW8 oil. This is the only brand I could find, which Mobil 1 is normally what I run anyway, except for on the Mark II. OEM filter, found it at Walmart, part number 90915-YZZN1. You're going to need a ratchet, a 14mm socket for the drain bolt, a 10mm socket to get the little protective cover off so you can access the oil pan, drain pan to catch the oil, and a handy dandy funnel to put the new oil in. Alright guys, so here we are under the car. This is the protective cover I was talking about. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 10mm bolts to remove that cover. So it's nice and easy. They're also a Phillips too. If you don't have a 10mm socket, you can use a Phillips head screwdriver to remove the cover. Alright guys, so once you've gotten all your 10mm out, like I said, this cover just pulls out of the way. And then there's your oil pan, drain bolt, filters tucked up here. So first things first, let's go get our drain pan, our 14mm, and we'll get the old oil drained out. Alright guys, so you just want to get your 14mm. I've already broken this loose, but just for the how-to, just put your ratchet on there, break it loose counterclockwise. Make sure you have your drain pan lined up underneath. Yeah, man, that OW8's like, it really is like water. That's crazy. And then just let all that drain out. We'll put our plug back in, and then we'll move over to the filter. Alright guys, and then once all the oil's finished draining out, like I said, just put your drain plug back in. And then that's going to get torqued down to 30 foot-pounds. Not a lot. You don't got to crank it. Just 30 foot-pounds. Alright guys, like I said, nice and easy. Just give it a good snug. Doesn't take a lot. 30 foot-pounds. Alright, now we can move over here and get this filter taken off. Alright guys, so I'm over here at the filter. This thing was on here so tight. Normally I can get them off, you know, by hand, But in this case, I had to go get my oil filter wrench, so I just slipped it on here. Go counterclockwise, enough to where you can spin it by hand. And then, as always, make sure you got your drain pan under here and let all the oil drain out of there, and then we'll swap the new filter on. Alright guys, and like I said, I'd use my filter wrench. Got it broke loose, just let it drain for a second. And then it just spins off. Then you can always confirm your part number. Hopefully you get the right one. And then guys, as always, you just want to check your surface up here. Make sure the O-ring off the filter didn't stay up there. Just clean that surface area real good for the new seal. You know, wipe it off real good with a rag. And then we'll get our new filter put on. Alright guys, so your new filter will come with this plastic over it. Just peel that off. A lot of people will tell you, you know, everyone has their own way of doing it. I've heard you don't have to pre-fill filters. You do, you don't, don't. I always have and I always will. That's just how I do it. So I just take the filter, a little bit of the new oil, carefully. I believe it's just an easier startup on the car, because once the car first starts after having an oil change, there's no oil in it. So just a little bit, not a lot. Don't got to go crazy with it. And then we can go install it on the car. And another thing, guys, these O-rings come with grease already on them from Toyota, but in case, you know, they don't, you can just take a little bit of oil and rub it around the O-ring just to lubricate it. So if you get one that for some reason doesn't have the grease already on it, or if you buy a filter that's not an OEM one, be sure you put a little bit of oil just around that O-ring just to lubricate it. Alright guys, you just want to line up the filter with the oil, little, I'm having a mental block. Just make sure you don't cross thread it on here. And then you don't have to crank it super tight, hand tight, and then give it an extra little oomph. That's all it takes. Don't gotta crank these things on here. And then we'll get our cover put back on and we'll move on to the next step. Alright guys, actually I lied. I'm gonna fill it up with oil and then start it and let it run for a minute before I put that cover back on, just so I can check for leaks, make sure everything's good, no leaks. So let's get some oil put in this thing. Alright guys, so like I said, car calls for 4.5 quarts, so get your funnel, start filling. Go nice and easy, make sure you're not slopping the oil all over the place. This stuff really is like water, that's insane. But that's what Toyota calls for. Alright guys, so we just got it running for a second. If your car, if you don't know, if you get in and it's in EV mode, which all the hybrids normally are whenever you first start them, to get it to turn on, just tap your accelerator pedal and it'll start the car. So we'll let it run for a second and it's back in EV mode. Now I'll get under there, make sure nothing's leaking, we'll put that cover back on, and then I'll show you guys how to reset the maintenance light. Alright guys, so let it run for a couple minutes, got under here, just made sure nothing was leaking, and went ahead and put the cover back on. So just make sure you put it can only go one way, but just be careful you don't strip out those little inserts that the screws thread into. They don't got to be very tight, it's really just a little protective plastic cover, so nice and easy. And now we will get to resetting the maintenance light. Alright guys, so after everything's done, hop in the car, turn the accessory on. Actually, probably start the car. You'll see your maintenance required. So you're just going to use your down arrow and go down to the settings and scroll all the way over to the little car with the little gear over it, hold OK. Then you'll scroll down to where it says scheduled maintenance. Click on that. Reset data. Yes. Reset complete. Hit back. Do oil maintenance. I'm going to go ahead and reset that as well because I just did an oil change. Reset complete. And that's all there is to it. And then that'll make your maintenance light go away. Alright guys, so once you get it filled up, pull your dipstick, wipe it off, put it back in, and you want it to be right at the top of this second dot, so I need to add a little bit more, but I'm going to start it and let it run for a second, back it off these ramps on the level ground, then I'll check it again. Always make sure you check your oil level when you're on level ground. Alright guys, and that's going to do it for another video here on Torque Spec Garage. That's all there is to it. Super simple, save yourself some money and do it yourself. As always guys, thank you so much for continuing to support the channel and everything that I do. I couldn't do it without you guys, so if this helped you, leave a like, leave a comment. If you have any questions, as always, leave them down below and I'll try to help you if I can. But until then, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later guys.